Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi has outlined several changes he wants to see made to laws when it comes to fighting crime. At a press conference on Wednesday, he said within the next few weeks he will be looking to take several bills to Parliament.
Elimination of preliminary inquiries, the election that defendants will have for judge-only trials, the improvements to the Legal Aid and Advice Authority, which will lead to a public defender's system, amendments to the Evidence Act to allow for the provision of anonymous witness evidence and the protection of witnesses who are at risk.
And the Attorney General has also outlined several areas where he thinks improvements need to be made in order to win the fight against crime.
The Attorney General said he, along with members of the other crime-fighting agencies, identified 6 roadblocks, one of which is the staffing at key agencies.
The complement of staff at the Director of Public Prosecutions is being improved by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission, but that will only go so far as to give us improvement on 5% of the work. The Office of the DPP performs 5% of the prosecutions in our country.
He said the police service does the other 95% of prosecution, and the case flow from there is of great concern. AG Al-Rawi explained that his office had talks with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution in the United Kingdom and the Crown Prosecution Services in the United Kingdom.
The case flow to allow for prosecutions to move faster involves providing meaningful assistance to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service by the provision of attorneys at law to work alongside with investigators so that cases are ready at the beginning of the process.
He said the proposal to have attorneys at law working with the police service means people will be ready for trial on the date which is given to them in the first instance.
But more particularly available for all of the interlocutory applications, that is bail, objections to bail, etc. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is earmarked to be implemented alongside the operationalization of the criminal procedure rules.
The appointments for the trial will be made by the judiciary. According to the AG, this is very important.
Those rules are to come into effect in April of 2017. And those rules will mean that persons are no longer set on very long lists for mention to be brought up from the prisons and then sent back without their matters being heard in any meaningful way. Instead, appointments, paper management, and sanctions for failure to be prepared will be applied by the judiciary. And the judiciary is currently in training exercise with the criminal bar to ensure that this happens.
According to Mr. Al-Rawi, this will then lead to a national prosecutions agency,
which is intended to work alongside what we're doing with the build-out of the Legal Aid and Advice Authority into a public defender's department. In a public defender's department, the issue of counsel of choice falls apart. If your attorney is not available on the occasions when the court has provided for you for that attorney to appear, you will be provided with a public defender.
He said a DNA register will also be set up for people who are in prison as well as all of those who have been arrested. Rishi Harinanan, CNews.